Chapter 1. The Raid. Stained golden sunlight coats a worn-down district as a pack of armored trucks speed down an urban road. Turning left at the intersection, the first vehicle leads the others onto a fractured asphalt road. Converging upon a decrepit apartment complex within the ruins of a financially abandoned neighborhood, the vehicles slow their speed as they enter the building's parking lot. Through the radio, words of seizing a drug trafficking station fill the communications. Nearing the building, the armored trucks park behind the already present police cruisers. Swinging the rear doors open, dog-fatigued policemen pour onto the broken concrete landscape. Approaching one of the unloaded trucks, two heavily geared men pull open the doors, allowing a bulking droid to stumble out onto the pavement. As these men systematically stack against the sides of the main entrance, they use their cybernetic eyes to calculate their placement positioning. Tightening their grip, the men solidify their aim with the assistance of their machine-augmented arms. Taking point, a hulking, unarmed droid kicks the double-door entrance in, initiating the breach. Following the metal behemoth inside, the SWAT members raise their rifles, taking careful scans of the dark and eerie, quiet interior. Following the metal behemoth inside, the SWAT members raise their rifles, taking careful scans of the dark and eerily quiet interior. Making its way up the staircase, the droid receives direction from a dispatcher informing the machine the location of its target room, residing past the fourth right door on the third floor. From behind the droid, the leading SWAT member sweeps past the rails of the upper floors with his camera-functioning eye, finding the surrounding area desolate of inhabitants. Proceeding onto the third flight of stairs, the men continue to follow the droid, tightly wrapping their hands around their firearms. Within the interior of the apartment suite, a number of Fox-human hybrid in street clothes casually lean against the wall, while others lay comfortably upon the handful of furniture across the room as urban music clouds the air. Noticing his phone vibrate against the side of his table, a red-furred fox deviates from his internet browsing to answer the call. After a brief moment of listening to the other end, he hangs up abruptly and races to the closet. Taking notice of his panicking roommate, a blonde-furred fox lays down his water pipe, inquiring, "What's wrong, Franklin?" Tossing a number of compact assault rifles from behind the hanged clothing onto the stained carpet floor, the red-furred fox answers, "Feds are here." Scrambling towards him, Franklin's living associates grab the loosely distributed weapons. As the occupants arm themselves, Franklin lifts a stuffed backpack from the farthest corner of the closet. Leaning against the door, one of the foxes raises his ear as he hears the growing sound of deep thumping, instantly recognizing the footsteps of the predators were close and converging. Flipping the beer bottle and ashtray-littered coffee table onto its side, a trio of occupants aim their firearms towards their only entrance from behind the cover of their stained wooden furniture. Delivering the backpack to his blonde-furred associate, Franklin grabs his snout, sternly instructing, "I need you to take this to the next station and get help." "But they'll kill me," he hesitantly whimpers in protest. Thrusting the backpack into his fearful friend's chest, Franklin replies, "They won't touch you, Frails. Now take this and run." Fitting it to his back, Frails turns back to his roommate, silently expressing concern. Frustrated at his hesitation, Franklin points to the end of the apartment, barking at his tear-shedding roommate. "Fire exit. Go." As Frails makes his way to the rear exit, Franklin turns his attention back to the front door. The thumping sounds of deep metallic footsteps draw closer, bringing some of the defending foxes to a mild tremble. A loud yet slow pounding meets their door, followed by a deep digital voice ordering, "Police, open the door. You have 10 seconds." Snapping himself from his fear-induced trance, he pulls a handgun from his waist, aiming his weapon towards the door alongside his armed associates. A fleeting moment of still silence prevails through the room as the foxes embrace themselves for the impending breach. Breaking the still ambience, the door flies from its hinges, crashing onto the living room floor. In a reflex reaction, the entrenched residents open fire, sending down a rain of bullets. Crossing past the doorway, unfazed by the gunfire, the large droid presents itself to the armed occupants. Entering the apartment, the droid advances, unfazed by the gunfire. The bullets ricochet off its thick metallic skin. Having depleted their cartridges, the hybrids cease firing as they gaze in fear upon the metal-cased being before them. Abruptly following the machine, the human SWAT members pour into the room, swiftly striking down the starstruck defenders. Passing the numerous bleeding bodies, the SWAT members stack themselves onto an adjacent doorway while the droid remains near the entrance. Holding a hand to the side of his helmet, the leading member of the armed policemen calls out, "Main room is clear." Through the faulty installation of his headset, his following members hear a static latent response. Inform. Acknowledge. Sending investigations unit and Team 2. Stay tuned for Chapter 2.